morning, Prime family. It is January the 20th, Monday morning, and it is still cold out here. To all of our neighbors up north, I know this is probably a warm spring for you guys up there, but here in Texas, man, it is 23 degrees Fahrenheit this morning. I thought we were gonna get more snow today, but clearly we didn't. But that's all right because I'm still bundled up, all right? It's still pretty cold. Now today, I'm gonna get the day started here. We have our very first R32 S Series heat pump that's being installed today in Double Oak, Texas. Now, one of the awesome things about that system for the customer is that the customer had a straight electric. All right, that means all he had for heating was the indoor electric heat strips, and those things just gobble up energy, and it cost the customer tons of money just to heat up his home. Now we're going back with a high efficiency 17.5 SEER heat pump system with a backup electric heat. So that thing is not only going to save him money, it's going to be super efficient, and it has the new R32 A2O refrigerant. So the guys are going to get here. We're going to load everything up, and then we're going to head up to the job site. And this time I'm going to show you guys a little bit more about the R32. So I'll show you the internal components of how that looks, the air handlers, coils. You know, they have new sensors built into them. Those are all important steps or important parts inside of those equipment in case the customer ever has any kind of refrigerant leak inside of that system. Since it's classified as an A2L refrigerant, that means there has to be some kind of sensor there to stop the unit from running, turning the fan on, and circulating the airflow. That allows us time to go out there and obviously take a look, see if it's leaking, and fix it. So I'll show you guys a little bit about those sensors, where they're located. But again, guys, it's Monday. We're ready to get going, and stay tuned. Ooh, it's a cold one. All right, first thing we do here Monday morning is obviously we're gonna get our caffeine in. We gotta drink some coffee to really get this morning started. But Monday mornings when we get here, first thing we do is we wanna make sure that everything is nice and clean. Everything has been prepped, you know, and the installers have already picked everything up. They got all of the materials. They got everything ready to go. So now throughout the whole day, we look at the schedule. We look at all the service calls that are already on the books, new ones that are being booked as we speak, and we try to organize the schedule accordingly with all the technicians and making sure that everybody can get to, you know, especially on these colder weather months and weeks here. So I'm gonna get right to it, and next thing that we'll do is we're gonna jump over to Double Oak. I think Carter and Isaac and the rest of the install team is out there ready to start removing all that equipment already early on. So once I finish up a couple of office work here, we'll jump over to Double Oak and we'll take a look at how that new R32 heat pump system looks and how it works. All right, we made it to the job site here. Guys are doing a great job getting this thing installed. Now check it out, this is the R32 S Series heat pump, guys. Looks identical to how they always look like, but what's inside of this unit is the refrigerant. Now that's a new A2L refrigerant, and those types of refrigerants, they're more energy efficient and they're safer for the environment. You know, that's really the whole idea behind the A2L refrigerants. Now they are slightly flammable refrigerants, but they don't really sustain a flame, so you really just have to install them properly, have the right tools, the right procedures, and you won't have any issues. But here it is. We'll open this up here in a little bit. Let me show you what they took out of it.
Guess how old this drain pan is? This is what we just pulled out of his attic. And by the look of it, I'm gonna go with 22 years old, but I'm cheating, guys. I know that because I was here looking at the age of it. This is what you don't want to happen, and this is why we always tell people, make sure that the plumbing is correct, okay, on your drain pan. And when your drain pan starts looking like this, getting ready to rust through, that can be sealing damage, okay? And sealing damage is not fun. But if you ever come up there and you see that it's orange, I mean, that's rust, but orange? Yeah, it's time to go. That's when it's time to do something new. Well, guys, that's not the only reason, though, that we're replacing the unit. The unit is 22 years old, so I want you to come around and take a look at 22 years worth of damage here. Do this. Okay, so check out this coil here. Now, this unit here was a straight electric unit, but check out that coil. We're gonna go back with a heat pump unit. It's gonna save this customer a ton of money, okay? Just to make sure it works both ways and he's not using electricity all the time for his heating needs. Take a look at this blower wheel right here. Yum. Yum. That's delicious.
Holy cow. Yeah. Well, that, you know, it's 22 years old. We got nothing else to expect from that. Let's go up here and let's take a look at the attic. The guys already have the indoor air handler installed. I think they got the hung right kit. A lot of space up here, guys, but the guys are gonna work tremendously here. They already got the hung right kit installed. They got the air handler. This is the new R32 A2L air handler, so it has the sensor inside of the coil. That's to detect any kind of refrigerant leaks, which will stop the outdoor unit from running and turn the fan on, and it'll just help dilute all of that refrigerant, and so somebody can come out and fix that. So it's very safe. We also got our April air filter there. Everything's gonna be like a prime install. The only difference is that this is, remember, the first R32 S Series heat pump, and we've been so blessed to be the first company to install that. So a lot of space. Like I said, they're gonna get to it, and once we open up a little bit of this space here, I'll go over there, flip the camera, and I'll show you that sensor inside of that air handler. All right, so here's the indoor air handler. Now here is the sensor. This is the A2L refrigerant leak detection sensor, and it comes pre-wired already for this particular unit, this air handler. So this is not a modification. This is the actual A2L refrigerant for this Amana S Series. Now what happens is, if this coil here were to ever have any kind of refrigerant leaks, what's going to happen is this A2L refrigerant sensor is going to shut the unit off. The compressor outside will not turn back on. And what it will do is it will allow the fan motor back over here to activate, and it will just run at low speeds. That will help dilute the refrigerant that's in the system, and it will not allow the customer to restart the unit until somebody comes out and figures out why this leak detector down here has activated. This is one of the many features that the new A2O refrigerants have to have, and again, because the refrigerant that's inside of these systems are slightly flammable. All right, guys, you know, this is our specialty right here. We specialize in the inverter systems. We specialize in the Amana S Series system. And man, we're just so happy to finally get these R32 systems. We are one of the first contractors here in the state of Texas to be installing these S Series R32 systems. Now, we've had an intensive almost 2 years of experience installing the side discharge inverter units like the Amana S. So our installation procedures really do not change. The only thing that changes is some of the tools that we use now to ensure that they're compatible with the new refrigerant. But aside from that, every step is still checked off. Good pressure tests. When we're brazing, we use our nitrogen. We run our vacuum down to 250. That ensures that this system has the very, very best chance to last for 20 or 30 plus years. Plus, it has some of the best warranties already installed into it. But look at this thing. I mean, they put a new sticker right here indicating that it is a R32 A2L refrigerant right there. And then you'll also know it because there's big warning stickers all over the outdoor and indoor equipment. That'll let you know that this is an A2L refrigerant.
All right, guys, while we're out here at this install, when I'm managing this, I always want to make sure the customer's gonna have a great experience, and that starts with doing the little things right, okay? Like George said, this is our specialty, the side discharge. But guys, we always make sure we anchor everything down, okay? And make sure it's level, especially if it doesn't have the concrete pad with the heat bubbles around it. We're gonna be putting it down on the pad, making sure it's good. But we always like to make sure that our line sets are nice and neat. We don't want any kinks. We always look into the wall and make sure everything looks good for the customer and they don't have any problems with the line set. On top of that, we're going to be adding locking caps to make sure that looks nice. Always making sure that we have a surge protector to protect the equipment. It's an investment, and we want to make sure, again, the homeowner has the best experience with it and doesn't experience any hiccups. On top of that, we make sure all of this is level. Aesthetically, we want to make sure everything's pleasing. Look at this, lined up with the corner, making sure when they come out, they're proud of what they're spending their money on, okay? And we do this so the customer not only has a good experience just with the company, but they have a great experience with the S Series. They're putting their money into this, and we want to make sure that when they come out and they look at this, they go, man, this is a great unit to make sure that I'm comfortable inside my house.
Alright, so we are halfway there. Check this out. We're pulling an amazing vacuum right now. This thing is already dropping. It's at 205. Now we always try to get this to 250 microns. Remember, that is the magical number. That really ensures that any moisture, any contaminants, really anything that's inside of this system is gonna get removed before we introduce the line set to the refrigerant that's in here. And since this is R32, honestly, even if it was 410A or any refrigerant, you want to try to ensure that those lines are pure, they don't have any contaminants, and there's no moisture in there, so that this thing can work efficiently and last a very long time. So right now we're going to shut this off, and we're going to go into a decay test to ensure that the vacuum held, and then we're going to open it up. But the guys are moving along really good. All right, so we are finishing up the install here, and people always ask how quiet the S Series is. The R32 is no different. Check it out. This thing is starting up right now. I'm literally whispering right now. That's how quiet this unit is. This is the R32 Amana S Series side discharge inverter heat pump. R32. Great job, guys.
Thanks, George, for closing us out outside. Inside, guys, it's still the same process you know us for at Prime, guys. This is the heat pump R32 system. So for anybody out there who doesn't want the furnace option and you want to go heat pump, electric heating kit, or dual fuel, that'd be fun to do. Let us know. We're going to give you the same process that's worked through and through. New plumbing, drain pan, returns, April air, top of the line filter. And what makes this different? It's a heat pump R32. We'll see you on the next one, guys.